All right, welcome back to another riveting CompGov lecture. Focus of this one is topic 4.3, political party systems. So much like our exploration of electoral systems in topic 4.1, the expectation at the end of this topic is that you're able to describe characteristics of political party systems and party membership. So let's go ahead and get started. The first key concept to discuss in this unit is how party systems and membership differ among the course countries, ranging from dominant party systems to multi-party systems. So let's take a moment here to examine each of the course countries to see where each falls on this continuum of dominant to multi-party system. Much of the information is pretty basic information. Obviously, just like politics in the United States, there's a lot that changes from issue to issue on a at least weekly basis. So this is basic information about political parties. Elections in dominant party systems like Russia after 2000 or Mexico prior to 2000 allow multiple parties to run in elections, but one major party inevitably wins governing power. So that's the general characteristic for dominant party systems. And then a basic characteristic for elections in multi-party system, there's two parties that compete for governing power. There's typically two major parties and then a number of minor parties, or what we refer to as third parties in the United States. We're going to hold off on these videos. I will post these on Schoology for you to watch so you have some examples, but we're not going to include the videos in this lecture. So starting off with China. China, as you know, is an authoritarian regime. It has rules that allow only one party, the Communist Party of China, to control governing power, to maintain the values of centralism and order, while allowing 8 other parties to exist to broaden discussion and consultation. However, these parties don't have an opportunity to hold positions of power and authority. As far as those powers those parties, they tend to be issue oriented. They are not opposition parties by any stretch, but just know that there are parties. We don't need to, for the purpose of AP Comparative Government, we don't need to know really much about additional parties in China, other than the fact that they don't actually hold any power. In Russia, Russia again is a hybrid regime, but it has been moving back towards authoritarianism. I think at this point we can call it authoritarian. Rules ensuring one-party dominance in Russia include increasing party registration requirements, allowing only legally registered parties to run for office, using selective court decisions to disqualify candidates, limiting the ability of political opposition to prevent their viewpoints in the media, increasing threshold rules to limit party access to the ballot, and eliminating gubernatorial elections. And also, the imprisonment and attempted, state-sponsored assassination of opposition figures. Unlike China, there are direct elections in Russia at the national level, but only candidates that the dominant party recognizes may run for office. In September 2016, Vladimir Putin. Now with Mexico, remember Mexico is an emerging or procedural democracy. Rules that facilitate Mexico's transition away from one-party dominance include eliminating the El Dedazo, which was the practice of the president handpicking his successor, privatizing state-owned corporations to decrease patronage, decentralizing and reducing one-party power at a substantial level, and establishing and strengthening the National Electoral Institute which is an autonomous public organization responsible for organizing federal elections in Mexico. The El Dedazo, which translates as the point, and was a metaphor used in Mexico to describe the nomination process of the new PRI candidate, who would become the expected presidential winner during PRI dominance all the way up until the year 2000. Again, by the outgoing PRI president. As PRI president stopped personally choosing the next PRI presidential nominee, other parties like PAN or Morena, which we'll get into these parties in detail, had more success in competing to win presidential elections, and this ultimately helped Mexico transition from a dominant party system to a competitive multi-party system. On the issue of patronage, patronage is also known as a patron-client relationship or clientelism. It allows government officials to distribute government jobs and services in return for voter loyalty. This is basically, if we think back to Andrew Jackson, this is the spoils system, is essentially a patronage system. Patronage institutionalizes a quid pro quo or this for that relationship between elected officials and voters, and it's often viewed as being corrupt because it benefits the elite. As the PRI's influence in distributing patronage to loyal voters was reduced, other parties like PAN and Morena had more success in competing to win elections, and this helped, again, Mexico transition from a dominant party to a competitive multi-party system.
On Sunday, July 1st.
Nigeria is also an emerging or procedural democracy. Nigeria's multi-party system includes 30 registered political parties with 2 strong parties, the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and the All Progressives Congress of Nigeria, the APC, and a third party having a degree of electoral success. In 2015, President Buhari of the APC became the first president elected who was not from the PDP. The APC also won majorities in Nigeria's Congress in 2015 and 2019 after dominant party control by the PDP. The UK is a substantive democracy or a liberal democracy. The UK's party system features competition primarily between 2 major parties, the Conservative and the Labour parties, which controls the legislature and executive functions of government. Both parties tended to share power, but minor parties with regional representation are also able to win some legislative representation. In the 2015 election for seats in the House of Commons, the Scottish Nationalist Party won 56 seats and became the most successful regional party in UK history. There are catch-all political parties that can earn support from groups with different characteristics, attaching popular support with ideologically diverse platforms. Some legislatures, such as the UK's House of Commons, are highly organized by political parties with voting based on strict party discipline that influences policymaking. These catch-all parties, like Russia's United Russia Party, are often the dominant party and in a dominant party system that earns wide support from different groups and tends to gain support from a majority of the population. They offer pragmatic policies rather than ideological policies that can face significant political opposition. In the UK, free votes on approving the 2013 legalization of same-sex marriage and on Brexit alternative policies in 2019 represented rare votes in which party members were allowed to vote against the preferences of party leadership without penalties by the party. All right, that is a wrap for topic 4.3. Thanks for listening.